Libra, my dear soul, what if I told you that a powerful financial blessing is quietly making its way toward you, and the only thing the universe asks of you is to stay silent? Yes, you heard that right. This isn't about manifesting louder, trying harder, or even proving your worth. Between December 8th and 10th, a sacred energetic gate is swinging wide open, and your name Libra is etched into the divine timing of what's about to unfold. This message is your confirmation. The abundance is real. And it's closer than you think. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where we don't just read horoscopes, listen to what your soul has been whispering, and we decode the divine patterns guiding your journey. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. The timing is too precise, too aligned. You were drawn here because something in your frequency is already matching the vibration of wealth, restoration, and overflow. Now I want you to pause. Take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what if staying silent is the very key that unlocks the biggest blessing of your year? What if speaking too soon, doubting too much, or sharing too loudly has been delaying the divine release that was meant for you all along? You see, during this specific window in December, the stars aren't just a lignite theory conspiring in your favor. Venus, your ruling planet, is entering into a sacred dance with Neptune and Jupiter. Meanwhile, the High Priestess card from the tarot emerges, a quiet guardian of spiritual wealth and intuitive wisdom. This is not the time to talk. This is the time to listen. To trust. To receive. Your stillness becomes your strategy. Your silence becomes your strength. Because when you stop trying to control what's unfolding, you become a vessel for something greater than yourself, something that's already been on its way to you for quite some time. And Libra, I want to personally thank you. Thank you for being here. For showing up. For choosing to open this video, even if you didn't know why. Every view, every comment, every subscription, every share, you're not just supporting a channel. You're helping us amplify a frequency of faith, healing, and divine timing that this world desperately needs more of. So please, if you're feeling something stirring inside right now, if your spirit is saying, "This is for me," then say it out loud. Or better yet, comment below with these words, "I am ready to receive my blessing in silence." Let this be your energetic contract with the universe. Let this be your marker on sacred ground. And if a specific number or phrase has been following you lately, maybe it's 888, for 44, or a dream you just can't shake, leave it in the comments too. You never know who else might need to see your sign to confirm their own path. Stay with me until the very end of this video, Libra, because what's being revealed is more than a forecast, it's a divine intervention. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you'll no longer wonder if the money is coming. You'll know why it was always meant for you. Let's begin. It often begins not with the loud arrival of wealth, but with a subtle shift, like a door quietly unlocking behind your back, as if the universe has decided that you are finally ready to receive what has always been waiting. Right now, that invisible door is swinging open. This isn't metaphor, it's cosmic mechanics. As the moon completes its journey through Sagittarius and glides into connection with Venus, your ruling planet, a new current begins to stir in your energetic field. Venus, now in sacred harmony with expansive Jupiter, is not simply handing you luck. It is calling forth alignment, a reunion between your internal worth and the external flow of provision. This particular moment isn't about chasing or striving. It's about resonance. It's about whether your thoughts, your words, and most importantly, your silence, are vibrating at the frequency of reception. That is why the High Priestess has appeared in the tarot right now, not as a warning, but as an invitation. She reminds you that sometimes, the most powerful way to call in abundance is not to speak it into the world but to nurture it in the sacred quiet of your inner altar. You see, the energy moving through your life right now is subtle but potent. It doesn't roar, it whispers. It clears space. It peels back layers of old narratives that told you abundance had to be earned through exhaustion or explained to others before it could become real. But the spiritual economy doesn't work like that. True prosperity is born when the soul stops negotiating its worth and simply aligns with it. This is that moment for you. It's not asking for more doing, it's asking for deeper being. Many times, the blessings that are meant for us take shape long before we see them. They gather in the unseen, waiting for the conditions of our heart to match their vibration. Silence becomes the bridge. And in that silence, clarity begins to arrive, not as answers to your questions, but as a knowing beyond logic. This is why now, more than ever, your task is not to share prematurely, not to water the seeds of your prosperity with external validation. Your task is to trust the process, to tend to the soil of your energy with patience and care. Think of it like this: when a farmer plants a seed, she does not dig it up every day to check if it's growing. She nurtures it quietly, believing in the invisible. Your financial blessings are no different. They are seeds that require sacred stillness, not constant attention or exposure. Some of the most miraculous shifts I've witnessed in the lives of those I've guided came not from louder affirmations, but from a decision to hold steady and listen deeper. To speak only when the harvest has arrived, not when the sprout is still breaking soil. This moment may feel uneventful on the outside, but internally, your field is shifting. You are shedding scarcity. You are resetting your nervous system to receive. You are beginning to align with the truth that you were never meant to prove your worth to anyone, not your family, not your peers, not your bank account. You were born worthy. And the less you explain, the more room you make for divine timing to do its work. If you're someone who prays or holds quiet conversations with God, then you know this feeling. The sense that even when nothing seems to be happening, something holy is being rearranged. Perhaps you've experienced a moment where everything you needed showed up just after you surrendered the fight. That's not coincidence. That's design. That's grace. Let this be one of those moments. So I invite you, Libra, to protect the sacred unfolding of your blessing. Don't speak too soon. Don't justify the beauty that's blooming. Just keep your hands open, your heart quiet, and your energy aligned. The gate is opening. Let it open in peace. Sometimes, the most profound transformations happen not when we strive, but when we stop. When we stop forcing, stop chasing, stop explaining, and instead begin to allow. Libra, you are entering a rare energetic window where the very fabric of the universe is adjusting itself to meet you, not the version of you that hustles to be seen, but the quieter, wiser part that has always known you were meant for more. This phase of your journey isn't about grabbing the reins and making something happen. It's about softening your grip and letting the blessing find you. Right now, a stream of abundance is flowing toward you, not because you've begged for it, but because you're finally aligned with it. And that alignment isn't loud. It's not something you can measure with productivity or perform with perfection. It lives in your silence. In your trust. in your decision to hold your vision quietly and tend to it with reverence instead of urgency. That silence isn't passive. It's potent. It's the sacred stillness where your frequency meets divine provision. For so long, we've been conditioned to believe that in order to deserve abundance, we must speak loudly, market ourselves constantly, or prove our worth through constant motion. But the truth is, worthiness is not earned, it's remembered. And the moment you stop shouting into the void is often the exact moment the universe finally whispers back. That's what's happening now. A large financial shift is moving in your direction, not as a reward for hard work alone, but as a natural return on your inner alignment. There is a principle here that mirrors what I've seen in both energy work and in stories of quiet, miraculous breakthrough. I once spoke with a woman who had been praying for financial help for months, praying with urgency, fear, and desperation. Nothing moved. Then one day, she stopped begging and began simply preparing. She cleaned a small drawer where she imagined placing the check she hoped would come. She didn't talk about it to anyone. She just created space. Within 10 days, a legal refund she had forgotten about arrived unexpectedly. What changed wasn't her words, it was her energy. She moved from desperation to receptivity. From effort to expectancy. That's the shift the universe is calling you into now. So ask yourself gently, what if everything you've been praying for is already en route but you've been too busy proving to receive? What if the delay wasn't punishment, but preparation, clearing out the inner clutter so you could finally recognize your blessing when it arrives? The invitation right now is to hold the energy of quiet expectancy. Don't water down your frequency by trying to explain your dreams to people who aren't meant to witness their birth. Don't exhaust your momentum by overplanning every detail. Instead, focus on becoming the version of yourself who is capable of holding more without fear. That version doesn't scream for attention. She doesn't chase. She expands. Silently. Powerfully. If you're looking for something tangible to do, begin with one simple affirmation. Speak it to yourself, not the world. I am the keeper of prosperity's secret. I am safe to receive great wealth. Let that be your daily prayer, your silent contract with the universe. You are not attracting abundance through noise, but through truth. You are a magnet not because you demand, but because you remember who you are. And if it feels like the world has gone quiet around you, take heart. It's not a sign that nothing is happening. It's a sign that everything is preparing. The stillness is fertile. The silence is sacred. And you, Libra, are not just waiting. You are being readied. You don't need to make the money come. You simply need to stop resisting its arrival. It already knows where to find you. What's unfolding in the cosmic skies between December 8th and 10th is far more than coincidence, it's choreography. You see, when Venus begins to align with Neptune, and Jupiter returns to a key placement it once touched months ago, something beyond logic begins to stir. For you, Libra, this isn't just a nice alignment. It's a restoration. It's the return of something you thought had passed you by, a chance, a promise, an inheritance of spirit or substance that had been quietly orbiting, waiting for you to become ready. This moment isn't asking for you to act out of urgency. It's inviting you to recognize what's already arriving with grace. There's something incredibly important about the concept of energetic debts. Not the kind we owe others, but the ones the universe still owes to us. Often, when we've endured long periods of lack, of silence, of holding faith in the dark, we're not being punished to being preserved. There is a divine economy to this. What you give out in purity, trust, kindness, patience does not vanish into a void. It's stored. It accumulates in unseen ways. And when the stars align just right, when you've shifted just enough internally, that reservoir begins to flow back to you in ways that feel almost surreal. The current energy speaks of this exact return. With Jupiter, the planet of expansion and karmic justice, revisiting a powerful point in your sky, and Venus, your ruling planet, dancing with Neptune's mystical vision, the gates are opening. But these gates don't look like dramatic opportunities or loud applause. They often appear as quiet emails, unexpected messages, or subtle shifts in someone's tone that lead to blessings you couldn't have orchestrated if you tried. The Empress, in partnership with the High Priestess, doesn't chase what's hers. She magnetizes it. Her presence alone is enough. And that is what you're being called into now. I want you to imagine for a moment that your blessings are like water behind a dam. You've been sensing the pressure, the build-up, the invisible hum of something wanting to break through. And you may have wondered why it hasn't come yet. Why the answer hasn't shown up. But sometimes the dam isn't holding back because you're not worthy, it's holding because the form of your life wasn't yet able to sustain the weight of the overflow. Now, that form is strengthening. The structure of who you are is no longer leaking doubt or compromise. And with that readiness, the release begins. In my years guiding others through energetic transformation, I've witnessed something remarkable again and again. The moment a person stops negotiating their worth, stops shrinking to be accepted, stops explaining their dreams to people who can't hold them, that's when the shift begins. That's when the offer shows up. That's when the money comes through. That's when the phone rings and it's the opportunity they silently hoped for. Not because they chased it, but because they became the version of themselves who could finally receive it. You may begin to notice signs in your outer world, messages about finances, quiet gestures of generosity, or someone unexpectedly offering you a connection or a resource. These are not random. They are echoes of this planetary movement, reflections of your inner readiness. And when they appear, you won't need to question them. You'll recognize the energy. It will feel both surprising and completely natural at the same time. So instead of forcing anything in the coming days, let this be your quiet revolution. Let your stillness speak louder than your plans. Let your sense of worth ripple into every room you enter, every email you open, every moment you choose to believe that something better is already on its way. Because truly, Libra, it is. And now is the time to stop waiting in fear and begin receiving in faith. There's something quietly revolutionary about choosing to prepare for abundance without announcing it to the world. At this point in your journey, Libra, the guidance isn't to hustle harder or shout your dreams from the rooftops, it's to create space in stillness. Because alignment isn't always visible. Some of the most profound energetic shifts happen when no one is watching, when you're simply making small, private decisions that whisper, "I trust what's coming." In these 3 days ahead, as the cosmic window remains open and charged with possibility, you're being asked to embody that trust through gentle, deliberate action. These aren't performative steps. They're subtle shifts that allow your vibration to rise without forcing outcomes. By choosing not to share your financial plans or longings, you're honoring the sacred gestation period of what's forming. When energy is exposed too early, especially to doubt or misunderstanding, it can disperse or lose clarity. But when it's kept quietly within your spiritual womb, it develops power and direction. Writing down 10 things you're grateful for every morning, especially those that haven't yet appeared, may sound simple, but it's a profound recalibration tool. Gratitude is not just a warm feeling, it's an energetic frequency that communicates with the universe. When you say, "Thank you," in advance, you activate the law of assumption. You begin to behave, think, and feel like someone who already has what they once desired. That shift alone can rearrange timelines. There's also power in speaking softly to yourself. Whispering affirmations like, "I don't need to explain. My blessings are already on their way," anchors that belief deeper into your nervous system. These quiet declarations aren't about magic spells theory, about anchoring identity. You're telling your subconscious that it's safe to expect more, to receive more, and to hold more without guilt or fear. It's equally important to watch how you treat money in these days. Avoid using money to prove a point or buy your way out of discomfort. Whether it's to impress others, seek validation, or soothe an old wound, every purchase carries energetic intent. Respecting money by spending with awareness and receiving with humility strengthens your capacity to hold larger amounts. The more reverence you bring to the financial energy in your life, the more likely it is to stay and multiply. And then there are the signs, the numbers that repeat until they're impossible to ignore. 888 often appears when financial flow is about to shift. 444 shows up when you're supported by stabilizing forces, and 155 signals that a major shift is coming in how you relate to prosperity. These are more than coincidences, they are synchronizations, little winks from the universe letting you know you're on track. Noticing them is the first step. Recording them, honoring them, and responding with presence is how you weave them into your timeline. Many people overlook this phase of manifestation. They think if they're not actively doing something loud or dramatic, they're not participating in the process. But spiritual maturity teaches us otherwise. Often, the boldest act of faith is the quietest one. You're not waiting for abundance. You're preparing a place for it to live. And that preparation may not be visible to others, but it's deeply magnetic to the universe. So keep your energy clean. Keep your dreams sacred. And allow these 3 days to be a soft activation of everything you've been aligned for. No one else needs to understand what's happening. This is between your soul and the source of all good things. The kind of wealth you're preparing to receive doesn't respond to noise, it responds to resonance. And right now, your frequency is speaking louder than words ever could. It's often in the quietest seasons that the most sacred shifts occur. What you're experiencing right now, Libra, isn't just about money, it's about restoration. It's about spiritual timing aligning with your practical reality. You may not see the full picture yet, but something has been set in motion gently, precisely, and with your name on it. While the world rushes, you are being called to wait differently. Not in passivity, but in expectancy. Not in anxiety, but in preparation. This part of your journey is a return to what I call divine orchestration. There's an invisible rhythm to blessing that we don't always notice until we look back. And yet, there are moments, rare and unforgettable, when we do see it in real time. When a message comes through at the exact moment your hope was fading. When provision shows up not a day too late, but right before you thought you couldn't keep going. You may call it timing. Others may call it luck. But I've seen it too many times to think it's random. These moments are what I call spiritual echoes, answers from something greater that were already moving toward you the moment you had the courage to believe. There was a woman I once worked with, a fellow Libra, who wrote down a simple prayer. I want to feel safe receiving a financial blessing I didn't see coming. She didn't shout it to the world. She didn't post about it. She just wrote it down, folded it into her journal, and kept it close to her chest. For 21 days, she didn't say anything about it. She simply lived with a quiet confidence, trusting that what she had written would reach where it needed to go. On the 20th day, she received an unexpected letter. An old family connection she hadn't spoken to in years had left her a significant amount of money in a trust. No requests. No conditions. Just a release. When she called me, she didn't cry. She whispered, "I think God heard me." Now, I don't share this story to say that financial miracles always look the same. They don't. Sometimes they come as job offers. Other times as debt forgiveness. Sometimes, it's the right conversation at the right time. But what unites them is how they find their way into our lives, most often, through the door of quiet faith. Not forced. Not controlled. But humbly received. This is why silence is powerful, Libra. This is why you're being asked to hold your vision a little closer, your prayers a little quieter. Not because you're hiding, but because you're honoring something holy. There's a difference between secrecy born of fear and sacred stillness born of trust. What you're doing now is the latter. It's a kind of reverence. A knowing that when you stop making noise, you become more available to hear divine instruction, whether that comes through intuition, insight, or the gentle tug of a new idea. So keep holding that vibration. Keep walking as if the door has already opened. Keep believing that just because you can't see the movement doesn't mean there isn't momentum. You've planted your seed. You've written your truth. You've surrendered your timeline. Now let the grace do what grace does best, fill in the space with something better than what you asked for. And remember, the kind of wealth you're preparing for isn't just about numbers. It's about the kind of person you become while waiting for the blessing. The kind of peace you carry. The kind of character you refine. That's what makes the financial reward not just a gain but a testimony. One you won't need to explain. One that will speak for itself when the time is right. Libra, you've made it to the end, and yet, something tells me this is only the beginning. A beginning not marked by striving or noise, but by quiet readiness. A deeper remembering. You're not here to find luck. Because luck has already been looking for you. And what if I told you that this entire time, it has been circling closer, listening for the moment your breath softened, your heart opened, and your spirit whispered, "I'm ready now." You don't need to be perfect to receive what's coming. You don't need to explain yourself, your past, or your pain to anyone in order to be chosen. You simply need to honor what's sacred within you. You need to guard what's still blooming. You need to trust that the doors are opening not because you've finally earned it, but because you've finally stopped resisting it. There's an old wisdom that says, where there is peace, there is permission. And peace doesn't always come after the storm, it often appears when we choose to stop feeding the noise. You've done that. Whether consciously or not, you've arrived here because you've shifted. You've stopped chasing and started allowing. And that shift alone is enough to change everything. So let me ask you something tender. something only you can answer. What would your life feel like if you truly believed you were already worthy of great wealth, even in silence? What if money isn't something you have to chase, but something that finds you when your energy becomes a safe place for it to land? Would you speak less and listen more? Would you begin to make space instead of making noise? I invite you to sit with those questions. To let them move through you, not with pressure, but with presence. Because your life doesn't need louder answers right now. It needs a quieter kind of faith. One that doesn't always make sense to the mind, but feels completely right in the body. If this message stirred something in you today, if even one sentence made you pause or feel seen, then I want to invite you to plant a small but powerful seed in the comments. Not for me. For you. For the energy that brought you here. Write this below: I am ready to receive in silence. 888, or use your own words, your own numbers, your own whisper of truth. This is your way of saying to the universe, I'm listening. I'm available. I'm becoming. And if you feel like someone you love might need to hear this too, I gently encourage you to share it with them. You never know what small ripple could become the miracle they've been waiting for. I want to thank you deeply for staying with me until the end. Your presence here means more than you know. Every comment, every like, every moment you spend with this channel Zodiac Whisper Tarot helps amplify a frequency of faith, softness, and clarity in a world that is too often loud and afraid. Let's be different. Let's choose stillness over proving. Presence over pressure. Receiving over chasing. And let's trust that the money, the miracles, and the meaning are already finding their way to us. Until next time, stay open. Stay grounded. Stay willing. Because the whisper of wealth is already at your door and it's listening for your quiet yes.